Thank you for the reminder. Okay, so let's see, where was I? Okay, so before we move on, we'll wait 1 minute for them to come back in. Any questions so far?
Yes, I do.
Yes, Linda, go ahead.
Okay, so you were talking about when a prospect wants to be a more visual, right?
Right.
But I feel it's always good for us to meet the person in real person for us to convince them better. But if are we able to convince them to go from visual to auditory? Is it
Uh,
possible?
Hold on, because okay, so you mixed up your question because I was following you until you said change them, right?
Yeah, right.
Maybe you ask your question again, and I'll listen a bit more
Okay,
carefully this
so
time.
if let's say the client will feel that they are more auditory, because they use words like I would like to look at your flyer, your brochure, and things like that.
Yep.
Okay, usually because when I feel that if I
Hey,
send
hold on.
them
Auditory is listening because you said
visual, I'm talking about visual.
okay,
Sorry.
visual. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, okay, visual. So, but when they speak, they say they want to look at the brochure, right?
Right.
So that is considered visual.
Yeah.
Okay.
More or less, yes.
Right. So, because I find that when we send them brochure, usually is the chances of closing the deal is very low. So, is it possible for me to convince them to change from just sending them brochure, but meeting them instead in person?
Ah, that question is not an auditory, visual, or kinesthetic question. That
Uh-huh.
question is a qualifying question.
Okay.
Okay. So, this is what I hear that you're saying. Okay. What I'm saying, this is a your perception question. Okay. This is what I interpret what I heard. All right.
Okay.
You prefer to present and discuss and possibly close face to face.
Yes.
All right. What you're saying is that these idiots only want to look
Correct.
and they don't want to meet you. How to
Yes.
get them to meet you so you can close them, correct?
Correct.
Yes. There's two things. First is you have to get better at convincing them to meet you. Second, you have to get better at selling non face to face. Okay. Because if you can only sell face to face, I remember you said you're an image consultant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Some others of us here have different kinds of businesses. All right. Now, I have offices in 3 countries. All right. Since MCO in Malaysia, I'm stuck in Malaysia. Okay. But since MCO in Malaysia, we've gotten training contracts in Philippines, Cambodia, Vietnam, and some other countries. If we were not semi okay at presenting a non face to face, in let's say we need to get good at presenting in this format and on the phone and in email, we cannot close deals. All right. Um, you're in KL, okay?
Yes.
Because if you're in KL and you get an inquiry from Johor, are you going to convince them? Let me come and drive 4.5 hours or 5 hours to come and see you. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
When you insist or you're only good in a face to no disrespect, yeah, if you are only good in a face to face setting, there's nothing wrong with that if you sell in your geographical vicinity. But if you want to expand, then you cannot focus on only face to face, right? So your question is not really how they don't want face to face. How do I convince them to go face to face? Okay. Your question is really, I would love to go face to face, but how can I get better at non face to face? That's really your question. Um, I was speaking to an insurance agent last year, not doing well at all. We can help him, guaranteed, no questions asked. We can help him. Okay, I'm about to close the deal, and this is what he says. Okay, this is in April of last year, where everybody is locked in the house. Correct? This is what he said to me. Okay. I want to do the deal. Um, but let's meet for a coffee next week. Huh? Dude, we cannot even go outside. What more meet for coffee? You see, the problem with him was, as not to stereotype insurance agents or advertising or property professionals, right? Not to stereotype, but they're more comfortable meeting and sitting down for a cup of coffee and then having a chit chat and then like accidentally close the deal. Does that make sense? So we must get out of that. If you don't get out of that, Linda, no, sorry, let me rephrase that. If we don't get out of that, we cannot expand outside of our little neighborhood. Okay, Yati focuses on Terengganu and Kelantan. But just to get a client in Kelantan doesn't mean that she has to drive and go and sit down and meet with them. Even in anything outside of your neighborhood or your city, you have to develop the skills of the non face to face. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's what we need to focus on. Yeah, Linda.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see, where was I? Okay, so we're going to go into persuasion now. We're going to go into persuasion. For those that just joined, you can watch the recording. We did record it. Okay, let me get the. Okay, let's get into persuasion. Persuasion is actually very exciting. Persuasion is not, please do it, please do it, please get the deal from me, please do it. It's not. Persuasion is not harassment. Persuasion is not badgering or harassing or, it's not, okay? And persuasion is not forcing. When we one of the first slides that I showed you when we started was you have to have a good quality product, good quality service, give all those things. We must have that. So from that point on, I'm making the assumption that all of us have a good product, quality service, and a fair price. All right, that's the assumption. All right, so how do we persuade and present? Because you can persuade by, this is my company, we've been around 20 years, we occupy 2 floors of this building, the CEO is this, and you can say all those things, but who cares, right? So I'm going to share with you how you can persuade. All right, um, there's 6 shortcuts to persuasion. All right. And I'm going to share with you what those 6 shortcuts are. You can implement all 6 or you can implement none. If you implement none, your results will be exactly where they are right now or worse. If you implement 1 or 2 or more, wherever you are right now, your results will go up. Okay? So let's get into the 6 shortcuts. The 6 shortcuts, I'll explain each one. The 6 shortcuts are reciprocity, scarcity, authority, consistency, liking, and consensus. Okay? All of those are mere words. They are only words on a piece of paper if you don't implement and use them. Now, these are not my concepts. These are the concepts backed up by in-depth study by psychologists, and the main person on this research team is a gentleman by the name of Dr. Robert Cialdini. If you want, now I'm going to go through these things very in a vastly summarized format for you. If you want to read about these 6 things, you can search for Robert Cialdini. I'll spell it for you. Cialdini, Robert Cialdini, and search for Secrets of Persuasion, just persuasion, and you'll find these things, and it goes into the scientific study, the behavioral study behind each of these 6 things. So I'm going to summarize the 6 for you so that you can use it almost immediately within the next 24 hours. Sound fair? If that sounds fair, raise your hand. Okay, awesome. Reciprocity. Reciprocity is, excuse me, one sec, yeah. Reciprocity is the obligation to give when we receive. What does that mean? You've experienced this, right? Where you bought somebody lunch, or okay, let's do this. When somebody buy you lunch or treat you to lunch, right? You say, "Oh, thank you," right? Let me pay you back, all right? And then when they don't accept the payment, what do we think to ourselves? We think to ourselves, the next time we eat, I'm gonna belanja him, right? Because when we get something, we feel natural human behavior is we feel obligated to give something in return when we receive something. So how do we use this? Okay, for you can use it in a B2B or B2C. Now, you can do it with something that's online, or you can do it with something that's offline. We'll use offline as an example. Let's say you visit a client. One of the things that I used to do is when I visit a client, I used to carry, I'll show you this. This is the last one that I have left. Okay. This is a leather bound journal. Okay. This is the last one that I have. I used to buy these in cases. When I bought these in cases, it cost me 10 USD per book. 10 USD per book. All right. And I carried these everywhere. I carry these in the trunk, or over here, the boot of my car. I used to carry these in the trunk of my car. Whenever I met someone, I would give them this. If you held this in your hand, hear that. That's how sturdy this book is. Okay. Its value, perceived value, is way, way, way higher than the 10 USD that I paid for it. Okay. And whenever I met a prospect for the first time, I would say, you know what, I brought a gift for you, and then I will put this in their hands, right? And then when they got it in their hands, they felt how heavy it was. I mean, this looks like $1,000,000, all right? They would look at it and they were like, wow. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating a little, right? But they would look at it and they would say, man, this is nice. Okay, what I did was I gave them something that didn't cost me a whole lot, but it had a high perceived value. And then when they got it, it's like they felt special when they got it. And I'm not saying that it's a bribe, all right? What I'm saying is that I gave a free gift with no expectation of receiving anything in return. But I know that when I gave them this gift, it made the selling conversation a little bit easier. Okay, so how can you use it? You can give something when you meet a prospect for the first time. You can give something even before they become your prospect. And whatever you give, make sure there's no like, I'm going to bribe you with, okay, don't do that. Okay, you have to give it sincerely, and it has to have a high perceived value. And what it does is it makes somebody feel indebted to you. All right. Now, the next one is scarcity. Scarcity is a little challenging because, okay, this is normal human behavior. The less you can have of something, the more you want of it. Can anybody shout out one example of something that is so scarce that it's so valuable now? Anybody? Maybe something that women wear on their finger?
Diamond.
Diamond, and around the neck and earrings and all that, right, Linda? Do you know that there's actually no shortage of diamonds in the world? Because people say, oh, diamonds are, what's the phrase? Diamonds are what? Are a girl's
Best friend.
best friend, okay? And the reason diamonds are so expensive is because it's in short supply, correct? Right? Nod your head if it's yes.
That's what they say, but
Right. In the early 20s, actually, I think it was closer to the 30s. In the 30s, there was a diamond company. There was a diamond company called De Beers. We all heard of De Beers, right, ladies? Yes. Okay. Diamonds are not in short supply. We actually have an overabundance of diamonds today, and even back then. What De Beers did was they created the perception of scarcity. Okay, they created the perception of scarcity. If you look at history, nobody wore diamonds before the 1920s and the 1930s. You, you look at all the paintings of Victorian in history, right? Nobody wore diamonds. They all wore, like sapphire, gold, and whatnot, right? Diamonds only came about after the late 20s when De Beers made a massive marketing campaign. Okay, the phrase "diamonds are a girl's best friend," that phrase has been around for 60, 70 years, and they never change it. It's a marketing slogan. All right, what they did was they convinced people that diamonds were scarce, and you needed to have diamonds to show off luxury and wealth, and it's something valuable. To prove to you that diamonds actually have less value than you think, you go to the diamond store, you go to a jewelry store, you buy a diamond. You buy a diamond for 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, whatever it is, right? Whatever the diamond is, 30,000, 40,000, and then you take it to another store and you try to sell it. They will give you 20 cents or 30 cents on the dollar. That means it loses 70 to 80% of the value. Okay, that tells you that diamonds have no value or cannot keep the value. So what De Beers did was they created a false scarcity, and they did it very well. And because they realized that human nature is the more you cannot have it, the more you want it. Okay, so it's not easy to duplicate in all the different businesses that we have. All right, we have a scarcity of time, scarcity of the offer, and you have to do it right. You have to make this scarcity right, or else it's going to backfire on you. Okay, an example would be, let's say you want to attend seminars and workshops. I tend not to do this. I tend not to do early bird, because it's an arbitrary price and an arbitrary date. It's like, oh, it works though. Okay, after the 31st of April, it goes up by $20. So you're creating a false scarcity. Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? Yes. Okay. I will also, let's say you get clients to book sessions with you. You want to limit your time so that you don't want to seem like you're free from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Okay, you have to limit your time to certain hours that you can be accessible to them. All right. I will also say this though. I won't say that I'm accessible to my clients. What I will tell you is that I answer very quickly. Okay. But I also make it clear to my students and my clients that I will do. Oh, hold on. Let's see. One of the videos finished rendering. Okay, so where was I? I will answer very quickly, but I am not available to you 100% of the time. All right. So when I make myself not so available, two things happen. The first is that my clients and my students will realize that I value my time, which I do. And the second is that when they make an appointment, they need to keep it. All right. So now we go into the next thing, authority. Human nature is we tend to follow credible and knowledgeable experts, whether true or not. right? So the things like certified in something, or actually the easiest is the doctors. Okay, we go to doctors. Most of the time, what do doctors wear? They wear the white coat, right? The white coat is like a uniform, correct? So when we see somebody in a white coat, it automatically gives the authority. All right. So how do we translate that? How do we translate that into our business? Okay. Let's say you're meeting a client face to face, for example. What would you wear? Would you wear a tank top or a t-shirt to meet client for the first time? That's a hell no, right? So we need to dress up. We need to dress up to the level where wherever the client is and a little bit better. All right. When you have face-to-face meetings, the lighting, your grooming, the things that you wear, all that gives you authority. All right. Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? Yes. Yes. Okay. Then we go into commitment and consistency. Commitment and consistency is that you get them to commit yes to something small, and then as you go on in your presentation, you get them to commit to something that's more substantial each and every time. So I call this the yes set. Now, there's a branch of Christianity, or a fringe of Christianity, um, back in the U.S. where, let's see, I think it's not Mormons, uh, Pro- Protestants, I believe. Okay, I might be wrong, but what they did was they used, oh, sorry, wrong story. Encyclopedia salesman. Okay, I was thinking of the Bible salesman. That's a different concept. So the encyclopedia salesman. Does anybody still know? Let me stop the share. Does anybody still remember what an encyclopedia is? Anybody? Who remembers? Okay. Who does not know what an encyclopedia is? Okay, everybody knows encyclopedia, right? It's a big book. It's basically Google in a book, right? So uh, encyclopedias are not sold by one book. They're sold in sets and volumes, right? And it got very expensive. In fact, when they started selling it in the 50s, late 50s and 60s, they were so expensive. Okay, and how they sold it was they sold it door to door. That's they sold these encyclopedias door to door, and the encyclopedias were so expensive. They figured out a way psychologically how to get. What they had to do was they had to get the father or the mother, the patriarch or the matriarch in the house to allow them to sit down and present, because it was such an expensive investment in the children's education that you had to have a sit down, because everybody that heard the price had a heart attack. Okay, so what they found was that to be able to sit down with the prospect, you had to do a series of steps, and they figured out that you had to get the prospect to say yes as early as possible. So I call this the yes set. So this is how they did it. They would knock on the door, and then let's say the mother opens the door, right? Uh, what do we normally say when we see someone for the first time? We say good morning, good afternoon, right? Correct? And then when you say good morning to someone, they say good morning back to you, right? Can you get a yes out of that? No. So you got to change the way that you say it. So instead of saying good morning, what they would say is, isn't this a good morning? And then what would they say? They would say yes. So you got your first yes. What we're doing is we're getting them in the habit of saying yes. All right. So isn't this a good morning? Yes. Now I will digress a little bit. When I was 25 years old, for 3 years, 25, 26, 27 plus minus, I sold cars. I sold cars for Toyota. I made a damn good living. When I was 25 years old, that was in 1995. So one of the things that I disliked when someone came in to look at cars is, that thing is like, I never said, "Can I help you?" All right. I would say, "Welcome to Toyota. Um, is there anything I can show you?" Along those lines, right? And then what I hear is, "I'm just looking, I'm just browsing." And more than anything else, their response, it pissed me off. Okay, it made me angry inside, and it made me like, want to fight with them, because I was thinking, we don't sell milk here, we don't sell anything but cars here. So you're here looking, so you should be looking at cars, right? So then I realized that I had to change that. All right. So I came across this yes set, and I changed it. All right. And how I did it was, instead of saying, "Hi, I'm Chris. Welcome to Toyota. What's your name?" Then say, "Oh, I'm just looking," right? So I remove that response, because customers and prospects are conditioned to tell you, "I'm just looking, I'm not interested, this is too much money." They're conditioned to tell you that in the first sentence. So you remove that. And what I said was, "Hi, I'm Chris. Welcome to Toyota. Isn't this a lovely day to be looking at cars?" Then they go, you could see their mind going, "I want to say I'm just looking," but they cannot, because it's illogical to say, "I'm just looking," when someone says, "Isn't this a lovely day to be looking at cars?" All right. So then, most of the time, out of courtesy and politeness, they would say yes, right? And so I got my first yes. Then I would, getting the commitment and consistency, I got the first yes. All I had to do was get to another yes, another yes, another yes. And then my closing question, before we close, my trial close was, "You'd want to see the exact numbers on this car, wouldn't you?" And then they would say, "Yes." And then we would go in and sit down, and then the next phase would start. Okay, so we got to go through these things. All right, the yes set, and that's exactly what the commitment and consistency is. Okay, let me get back to the training slides. Okay, so that's what the commitment and consistency is. You get them to say yes to something small, and then as you ask more and ask for more commitment, they've already got in the habit of saying yes. All right. Now, the liking. The liking is, people tend to say yes to those that they like. So there are three main factors. The three main factors are, they're similar to us, they complement us, and people who cooperate with us. We've already covered the similar to us, with the auditory, the visual kinesthetic, the pacing, the leading, the mirror matching. I've already told you, do your very, very best not to say no. All right. And then we want to talk about compliment. All right. When we talk about compliment, I'm not saying give a fake compliment like, "Wow, your dress is so nice. Oh, wow." No, I'm saying give a small compliment. Small compliment, something like, let's say you're in their office, and you see something nice on the desk. "Oh, I really like that pen," example. Or let's say the shoes. "Oh, I really like how your shoes complement um, your dress," right? Okay. Should you give false compliments? No, you should not. I had a client. My client was uh, y'all heard of President Ronald Reagan, right? Ronald Reagan. Okay. This client hated Ronald Reagan. Hated Ronald Reagan. Okay. But the problem was, this client of mine, the clientele was called the belt. It was in the Midwest, so they were always selling to farmers and the salt of the earth, okay, and all of his clients, right, all of his prospects had "We support Reagan" signs on the on their property, and then they would always say, "Do you support Reagan?" And then he would go, "No," and then it's like there was a disconnect. So then he told me, um, uh, uh, this was back then, right? He told me, you know what? I think I have to lie to them and say that I support Reagan. And I said, no, 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 you shouldn't lie to them, right? So we figured out what could be said. All right. He told me what could be said instead of lying that he supports Reagan. Does that make sense so far? Okay. Um, so what he figured out was this: instead of lying, he thought about what did he like about Reagan, and then what he liked about Reagan was the way he spoke, how articulate he was. Okay, so when someone says, "Oh, you support Reagan, right?" Because only the people that support Reagan can sell the farm equipment to us. So instead of lying and saying I support Reagan, I mean what he said, right? Instead of lying and saying I support Reagan, what he said was, "You know what I love about Reagan? What I love about Reagan is the way that he communicates and he delivers his speeches," which was a compliment, but was not a lie. Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? You can compliment something without liking it, but just make sure you're not insincere. Okay? If someone says, "Hey," not wives or husbands, yeah, someone says, "Hey, do I look okay in this dress?" It's like, "No, you look like a marshmallow." Don't say that. All right? Don't say that. What you can, even if they look like a marshmallow, and don't say, "I like marshmallows." Don't do that. Okay? I like the way that you have the confidence to wear that dress. Okay? I, what's wrong, D? It's like, have you said that?
Well, when you say that, wow, you have a lot of confidence to wear that dress. It sounds like, wow, you got a lot of audacity to wear
No, no.
that
It's the
thing.
yeah, but it's the way that you say it. All right. I love, I love the way that you show your confidence when you wear that dress. Isn't that better? Yeah, but it's the way that you say it. All right.
Yes, yes. Okay. It was
Yeah.
just funny, that's all.
Yeah,
I,
I
I can
understand.
imagine myself saying that, that's all.
Well, don't say that to your wife,
Yeah.
gentlemen. Don't say that to your wives. Just say you look wonderful. Okay, and then no issues. Okay.
They
Uh,
already know that's a lie.
sorry.
Women
What's that, Ridwan?
already know that's a lie.
To who? Your wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I
So
said
they keep asking.
right. That's why I said don't. Okay, I'm not a relationship expert. Please do not ask me about wives and all that, okay? Because I have my own challenges and issues in my whole life. All right? I'm not qualified to give husband and wife advice at all. All right? What you say to your wife, Ridwan, don't you ever say, Chris asked me to say it. Okay? Don't ever do that. What I'm saying is that when somebody else, and I'm not even saying, I'm giving an example of how to pay a compliment sincerely without offending somebody. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. Whew. Okay. Let's do this. It's 3:16 now. Okay. We'll take a 5-minute break, but I will be here in case you have questions. Uh, in case you have questions, you can ask me. You can ask me anything. Who's D? You're laughing at Linda. Okay, so if you want to take a break, you want to go to the bathroom, you want to go and take a coffee or a tea. If you want to get a snack, whatever it is, we'll start again in 5 minutes. All right? Okay.
Linda, you can't make me laugh in class, okay? I'm gonna get in trouble with the teacher.
I know how.
You know what? My husband gonna attend this class on Saturday, so yeah, share this
CP.
with him. Yeah, CP.
Okay.
So yeah, see if
Yeah.
he will tell me like I'm a marshmallow or something.
No, no,
He's
no, no,
so
no.
dead.
Hey, I'll tell you this, Linda. If he says that, yeah, please, it's not from me. Okay?
I
Not
don't
from me.
know.
No, 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 it's not from me. You'll have the recording. You have the recording from Saturday. All right? You can check and verify.
Well, he will probably change it instead of marshmallow to something else. Yeah. Okay, I have a question for Chris,
Go
if you
ahead.
don't mind.
Yeah.
All right. So earlier there's one part you were saying that it's not a good idea to put like early bird price. You know, there's one section to it.
Right. It's not that
Yeah.
it's not a good idea. I think it's effective. It's just not something that I prefer because you're trying to create an artificial urgency or scarcity. It's
All right.
artificial,
Artificial.
right?
Okay. So what
Okay.
about if we say limited seats available? Is that the same
It's
idea?
kind of. It's kind of. You have to understand this. Okay. Um, it has to. Okay. Let's say I answer and let's say I see. Okay, we talk about the gurus, right?
Mm.
That say that, oh, hotel room 2 hour preview, for example, limited seats. I attend those because I need to see what the competition is doing. All right. And then when I see limited seats, and then I go there, and then they got 200 seats, is it really limited seating, right? And then the other one, if let's say it's a paid class, if it's a paid class, and then you limit it to 30, and you tell people you limit it to 30, but you accept 40 seats, 50 seats, and then you just add rows, is that integrity?
Yeah.
No, it's not. Then if it's an online seat like this, okay, my account can handle up to 500. Okay, so can I realistically say it's limited seating? Okay, unless I say, unless we do a huge summit or convention or whatever it is, and we say that it's limited to 500, then it's true. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. It you don't have to justify or give evidence. You just have to justify it to yourself
Right.
that you're in integrity. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yes. So what is the solution that we want to create a scarcity?
Okay. You can I've done this before where I tell you that it's a fake scarcity and it's a fake urgency. Okay. I will tell you in my copy, I will say something like, I'm trying to get you to take action. I know that there will be some people that will take action now, and there will be some people that will take action later. I want you to take action now, and for those of you that take action now, I will give you the early bird price of X. So you be upfront,
I see.
right? Because early bird means what? You buy early, right? But it's an arbitrary date and price,
Right. So it's not a lie or something.
right? Okay, did that answer your question?
Okay. All right. So we can still do early bird, but we have to do it in a manner that's genuine.
Right. And if your early bird is finished,
That's it.
even by one day, you cannot sell. You cannot sell at that price because then you're lying to everybody that did buy it already, and
A
you
lot of
cannot do
people
that.
does that, like, okay,
Of course,
I tell you, you didn't tell anyone.
of course. I mean, we all do it,
Yeah.
right?
So it's all about integrity.
Right.
Okay, thanks for the explanation. A lot of
No
thinking
problem.
need to be done.
Okay, no problem. Okay, shall we continue? Or shall we give it a quick minute? Okay, we'll continue because we are recording this. Okay. Okay, let's get into the next one. Oh, let me make sure that we covered every. Okay, hold on. Consensus. Consensus means following the actions of others. It's like, have you ever like experienced or heard, right? Let's say at a mall, and then there's a long line of people, and then it's like, hey, how come so many people lining up? And then you go and line up, and then you're like wondering what the line is for, and then you ask the person in front of you, hey, what's this line for? I don't know, but there's a lot of people. All right. Another way to use this, and you know, a lot of companies, maybe not a lot, but some companies, an example would be Coach, Coach leather bags, all that, right? They use this artificially to create a line because they limit the number of people in the store so that people line up. Okay. The other way of consensus is when we have influencers, celebrity endorsements, and on actually it's a more effective scale. What do you call that? Testimonials, whether it's written or video or pictures, because we want to see. You see, we don't want to be the first one taking the risk. We will follow others that have done it before us. Okay, so let's get into the next one. The next one is so to summarize everything that when we talk about the value, right, is know what your competition is doing, develop high value offers. Remember, we talked about the high value offers. How can you give a high value offer? I'll give you an example. When we now my company, we don't only just do training, but I'll use training seminars and contracts with companies as an example. We've been able to get a lot of deals in the Philippines, Vietnam, and Cambodia over the last 8-9 months because we do something a little bit different. So let's say we talk to the decision maker, we talk to the owner or the CEO, and then we want to create the apples to oranges comparison. Remember, to be able to do that, we have to change a couple of things that other people don't do. So we agree on the price, and then we will throw this in. We will say, we're going to do an extra session at no extra charge just for the managers, just for the management team, because we're going to cover this information. But for long-term effects, what you need to do is you need to get your managers to monitor all the personnel. So we throw in an extra training for management so that they can implement on the day-to-day basis. And nobody else does that. All right. And so almost every deal that we talk to, when we throw that in, we close the deal. All right. Another thing you can do is create bite-sized offers. Bite-sized offers is something for free, or like a 7-day trial, or a 30-day trial. Something small where they can try it out to be able to test you and to test your product and service. The next thing that you can do, to be able to persuade more effectively, is to improve your marketing materials. And then the next one is to focus more on benefits. We'll talk about benefits in a little bit. All right. But let me ask you this question. We all are in the business of trying to get people to make decisions, correct? Yes or no? Agreed? Yes? Okay. So how do people make decisions? Do they focus on the facts and figures and, yes, this is a good deal because I saved this much or whatever? Or do they use emotion to make the decision? So do they use emotion or decision? How many of you agree they use logic? How many of you agree that they use logic? They use logic to make decisions. Okay. How many of you agree they use emotion? Okay. They use emotion to make the decision, whether they realize it or not. And they use logic to justify the emotional reason. So you're gonna close some deals just based on emotion, and you're gonna close some deals just based on logic. but you're going to close the most deals when you focus on emotion and you use logic to justify the decision, or you close on logic and you use emotion to justify the decision. Because we're all human beings, right? Yes? Raise your hand if you're a human being. All those not on video, raise your hand so we can see if you're a human being. That's Yana, Cassie, Zoe. Zoe is like even like that. It's like okay, okay. Thumbs up if you're a human being and we make decisions based on emotion and logic. Yes. Okay. Awesome. Let's get back to the training slides because I'm going to show you this, and this is how you be more persuasive. Human beings use logic to decide and then use emotion to make them feel better, or the other way around, right? They use emotion and then they justify it with logic. All right. So what do you have to do when you sell? In your proposals, in your brochures, in your Facebook posts, in your cold calls, in your everything that you do, you must hit the emotion and follow with logic, or the other way around. Okay. The emotions are, if you can hit curiosity, greed, love, jealousy, envy, pride, security, family, comfort, convenience, prestige, success, if you can hit as many of these emotions as you can, you're already ahead of the game. Okay. Let me ask you this question. When making a buying decision, I'm asking you individually right now. All right. Individually right now, when you make a buying decision, do you do it to gain pleasure or avoid pain? Gain pleasure or avoid pain? Which one? Okay. How many of you, when you decide to buy something, you're trying to gain pleasure? Okay. How many of you trying to avoid pain? Okay. Let me ask you this question. Which one do you think is a stronger motivator? If it's pleasure, two hands. If it's pain, do that. Which one's a stronger motivator? Gaining pleasure or avoiding pain? Okay, let me ask you a different question. Let's have Linda. Let me have you unmute yourself. I'll ask you a couple questions,
Okay.
and then we'll test this theory. Is it to avoid pain or to gain pleasure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's say you and I are walking. Okay, no, that you are walking on a bridge.
Okay.
Okay, I appear and I have a briefcase with $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and the water below is so high. I mean, the river below is like really, really high.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the possibility of you living is there, but it's slim if you were to jump off the bridge. Okay, so that's the scenario. So then I say to you, Linda, in this briefcase is $1 million. Jump off the bridge. So the money is what? It's pleasure, right? Gaining
Mm-hmm.
pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Would you jump off the bridge?
No, not for me.
Okay. Now let's flip it a little. The bridge is a little bit narrower, okay, than we imagine. You're walking on the bridge. I'm there, but I haven't given you the money yet. I haven't made the offer yet. Suddenly, this giant truck or lorry comes down the bridge. You're at the halfway point.
Oh dear.
and there's no place to go to the side, left or right. There's not enough time to run off the bridge because you're right in the middle. That lorry's going to hit you in a couple seconds. Would you jump off the bridge?
Looks like it.
Okay.
Good luck, Linda.
What's that?
I say good luck, Linda.
Good luck.
Right. We will do more. We will do more to avoid pain than it is to gain pleasure.
Mhm.
That's a natural human behavioral concept. You see, when we sell, we always try to say, you're going to get this, you're going to get this, and you're going to be so much more this, and you're going to get all these things. But we never sell by saying, if you don't do this, you're going to lose out on this, this, and this. We don't sell like that. I'm not saying that you should only sell the loss. What I'm saying is that you should sell the gaining of the pleasure and avoiding the pain and the loss. Does that make sense? So when you sell, for example, you're going to get this benefit, this benefit, this benefit, and if you don't, I'll give you an example. It's what I said to you a couple times to get your subconscious moving. All right. A couple things that I said to you were, if you don't do this now, you can stay where you are or be worse. If you don't do this now, you're not, I'm saying the same thing. If you don't do this now, you're not going to achieve your result. Do you see what I'm saying? You need to drive that home with your clients, okay, and your prospects, okay. Another hard hitting technique is this: if you don't get this, okay, or you need to get this, because if you wanted to achieve this, okay, if you want to achieve success or time freedom or whatever it is, if you want to achieve success and time freedom, if doing what you were doing was working, you would have already got it. That is selling, the fear of the loss. Does that make sense? Okay. For example, you could say, yeah, it's $100 a month. If you don't get this plan, you're going to lose out on the high connectivity rate, the bandwidth, whatever it is. So you have to think about your business, your product and service. How are you going to sell pleasure, and how are you going to sell the avoidance of pain? Okay, Yati, for you, an example would be, you said that you want to look more professional in your workplace. You said you want to look more professional in your workplace. If you don't get my service, do you still want people to look down on you and the way you dress? I'm being a bit hard right now. Okay, I'm not saying that you would say that, but for the sake of an example, I need to exaggerate a little bit. So you either get my service, or people are still going to look at you like you came from the village. Does that make sense,
Yes.
guys? Okay. All right. Let's get back to the training slides here. Okay. Let's see. Okay, we talk about that. We talk about the gaining the pleasure and the profit. Okay. Now we're going to talk about features and benefits. We're going to do an exercise. We're going to go through features and benefits. Before we do that, let me check something here real quick. I just want to make sure of the sequence. Okay, we are on track on time. If we continue at this pace, even with questions, we should be okay between 5:15 plus minus. Are we okay in that? Yes? Okay. And depending on how intelligent we are, or I am, we may finish between 5 and 5:15. Okay, let's talk about features and benefits. Um, what are features and what are benefits? I want you to take about 10 or 15 seconds and think about that. All right. And while you're doing that, we'll come back here for our discussion. So features and benefits. Okay. So what are features? Anybody? What are features?
Is it about, like, for instance, a handphone, the specifications, the features, what the
Yeah.
handphone can do, the functions?
Right. And what are benefits?
Benefits, for instance, you can download apps where it can help you, for instance, to track your health record.
Okay. You combined a feature and a benefit in that last statement.
Okay.
You were starting with feature and then you threw in the benefit, which is actually the right thing to do.
Uh-huh.
a lot of times, the way that we sell is we only talk about features. I'm selling a nature hike. You get to see the mountains, you get to see the river, you get to see the jungle, you get to see nature, you get to see all kinds of flora and fauna. What was that? What was all those things that I said?
Feature.
Feature.
Features.
Every single one of those were features. All right. You get to see the mountains, which brings you a sense of peace,
Features
so
and
that you can,
benefit.
right? Okay. Do you see what I'm saying? We need to sell features and benefits, and the reason we need to the reason we need benefits is because it is the emotion. It's the emotion. Features is uh, the logic, and benefits are the emotion, right? So when we buy things, you'll recognize this. Um, why did you buy this luxury car? Eh, let me ask you this question. Okay, nothing wrong with luxury cars, but does a luxury car get you to your destination faster? No, it doesn't, right? So what's the justification for buying a luxury car that is, like 400,000, 500,000, when a decent mid-sized car like a Honda or whatever can get you to the same destination? I've heard so-called gurus saying that, oh, we must get a Lamborghini to show that we're successful. All right. Um, is that a feature or a benefit? Okay. They simply wanted the Lamborghini or the Ferrari, and they used that statement to justify why they wanted to get it or why they were able to get it. So they used the emotion, and they justified it with logic. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's get into a couple more persuasion techniques here. Okay. When we sell, before I do that, let me ask you this question before we get into that. When we sell, should we give options? For example, should we say, okay, I got this package A, package B, package C, package D, and package E. Which one do you want? Should we do that? How many of you agree we should do that? Okay. How many of you disagree? Okay, no problem, Yan. How many of you agree? Oh, am I having audio problems? Is that
No,
what you're saying? Oh, I'm okay, right? Okay. So, how many of you disagree that you got to give, options in your products and services? Okay. So what's the magic number? How many should we give? 2? Okay.
3.
Okay. Some more?
Three maximum.
Correct. I agree with 3 maximum. Okay. Actually, the best number is 3. All right. We had a client, Muslima Bridal, and we increased their closing ratio, their appointment show up ratio, but we increased their dollar maximization. How did we increase that? What you see, they had package. They had a $9,000 package, a $9,000, $11,000, $13,000, $15,000, $17,000, $19,000 package. Okay, so they had 6 or 7 packages. When they had 6 or 7 packages, ranging from 9,000 to 19,000, most of their sales were in the $9,000, $11,000 package because people were choosing the lower end because they got confused. All right. What we did, well, we did a lot of things, but one of the final things that we did was we erased their packages and started fresh. So they were like, the owner was like, oh no, most of our packages are 9,000. We must keep that. So what we did was, okay, we said we do a test. All right. We kept the 13, the 15, and the 17. It used to be 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19. So we told her, keep the 13, the 15, and the 17. So 3 choices, right? Which one sold the most? 13, 15, or 17?
15.
Okay. Which one sold the second most?
19.
17.
17.
17, which was a huge difference from 9 and 11. Now they're selling more on the 15 and 17. Here's the thing, okay? When you sell something, sell it in packages of 3. And you want to funnel them to make the choice. This is how you funnel them, okay? Let's say you have a 13, 15, and 17. 50% of the people will choose the middle, okay? 30%, 30 to 40%, actually 50 to 60% will choose the middle. Of 3, they will choose the middle. 20 to 30% will choose the higher package, and about 10% plus will choose the lower package. So you actually make more money selling the middle package if you sell 3. And this is how we force people to buy the middle package. I'll give you an example. Let's say we're selling pencil. Okay. Let's say the first package has 3 pencils for $5. Okay. The middle package has 10 pencils, or we make it simple, has 6 pencils for $8. Okay. And the highest package has 9 pencils for $12. Which one makes the most sense?
Six pencil.
How many?
6 pencil.
How about if I
middle.
did this? How about if I did this? You buy 3 pencils, it's $5. You buy 6 pencils, it's $8, and you get an eraser. Or you can get 9 pencils for $12. Which one's the best deal?
6 pencil?
How many?
6.
6. I'm forcing you to choose 6 pencils.
Yes.
Depending on how you structure the offer. I'm forcing you to choose the middle, which you're already going to do anyway. So I'm in military terms, we call it a kill box. Okay, the kill box is that you have no choice but to go to that one option. All right. So I'm forcing you to choose the middle option because the 3 pencils for $5 is a good deal. And on the if we do the offer right, the largest offer, 9 pencils for $12, we can make it look like a good deal. but we want to use the human behavior and get people to choose the middle because they're going to do that anyway. So we call it a forced select. Okay. Now I'm going to give you another stat. The other stat is when you give one option, when you only give option A, you can buy 3 pencils for $5. When you give one option, and we're talking about immediate decisions, yeah? We're talking about immediate decisions or a very quick decision. When you give one option, it's either buy or don't buy, okay? When you give one option of either buy or don't buy, only 10 to 20% of the people will buy it. When you increase it to 2 options, 30 to 40% of the people might select either option A or B, okay? When you give 3 options, that percentage increases to over 60%. So in anything that you're selling, in anything that you're offering, give 3 packages and force them to choose the middle, because the middle is what you will put in to make it irresistible. Okay, now we also have what's called the relative value. People will look at option A and they will say, you know, that's a good deal. And then they look at the more expensive option. Oh, that's the highest price. It's okay. But man, package B with the 6 pencils and the eraser for $8, that's the one I'm going to get. Make sense? Okay. Now, the next thing that we want to do in persuasion. Okay, now that one is we call the forced select. The forced select into the irresistible offer. Okay. You can also do a forced select of the highest option, the highest dollar option, but you got to make it really, really attractive. Okay. Now, the next thing is we got to change our language. Not from English to BM or, you know, BM to Chinese, but we got to change our language. And I'm going to give you some examples here. Changing our language. Hold on. Okay, changing our language means instead of saying I, or you, we change it to we and us. Okay, then it becomes more inclusive. When I talk to a prospect, I won't say. Example would be, what do you think is the right decision for your company? Right? We would say that, right? But I won't say that. I would say, you know, when we have our discussion, what do you think is the right decision for all of us? It's more inclusive, right? Instead of saying, how much do you want to spend? You say, how much do you want to invest, right? Instead of saying, what's your budget? What's your budget? What's your budget for this? What do you think you can set aside or allocate, you know, to get this package? Try not to say the word but. If you replace the word but with the word and, it will work in almost every situation. Just imagine you're talking and then you say the word but. Just replace the word but with and, A-N-D. Because with but, there's a feeling that you're saying this and then you add the word but and it negates everything that you said so far. Now, if let's say you want to test the waters a little bit and they ask for a 30% discount, but you're not able to, you want to get the commitment first. What if we were to, you know, offer you a 20% discount? Or what if I was able to get you a 20% discount? All right. So when you use terminology like that, then you're able to persuade more effectively. Okay, let me check something here. Okay, let's get into questions. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to go through the types of questions that you would ask. And then I'm going to go into the yes set a little bit more detail. And then we're going to go into benefit statements. And then we'll go into the future pace. And then we're going to do a persuasion exercise. And then we're on the home stretch. Okay, then we got handling objections, we got closing skills, and we got follow-up. Okay, and you know what? The closing part is the easiest. All right. So what we've done is we built the foundation, okay, for throughout the whole day, and when we're able to do that, we're making closing the easiest and the simplest part. All right. Okay. So let's get into the yes set. Okay, the yes set is very simple. You're trying to get somebody to say yes or agree with you. And it's very easy to do. All right. What you do, okay, I want you to look at the screen, and then I'm going to come away from the screen for a little bit. All right. When you ask a question, you want to tell them that you're going to ask them a question. Because when you tell them you're going to ask a question, their mind is prepared. Okay, they're prepared for the question, and then they will answer. You have to help people to answer you. Okay, so when you're going to ask a question, is let me ask you this, or can I ask you a question? Let me ask you a question, and then they will say yes, and then their mind is like they're ready for the question, right? Instead of saying blue looks good, okay, because you're trying to get them to agree blue looks good. Blue is their favorite color. Blue looks good, doesn't it? Uh, you know, uh, would that be correct? Is that, you tag on, isn't it? Isn't that right? Is that right? You would agree, right? Sound fair, sound good. You add those in to at the end of a statement to force an answer. Okay, you're trying to force them to say yes, but they're going to say yes anyway. But you need to get them to say yes. Even if you get them to say yes in their head, it's perfectly fine. They don't need to say yes, which is why this technique works in writing, in Facebook posts, online, in brochures, in video ads. This technique works. Okay, you'd like to be more successful, wouldn't you? You would agree. Okay, I'm sorry. If you were to be more successful, you would want that, wouldn't you? Okay. See, most of you, most of you right now are automatically saying yes in your head. So I'm forcing you to say yes. I'm forcing you to get that yes out. So we need to ask questions like this in order to force a yes. Now, you can force a no also. Okay. I think I might have that in a slide, but I'll cover this now. You can force a no also. This is how you would do it. Okay. Because buyers want to say no, isn't it? It's easier for them to say no. Correct, Linda? Yes, I see you like smiling there. Let's role play with you just very quickly on this. Okay. I want you to try your best to not buy from me. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll show you how easy it is, or how structured it is to be able to get a yes. Okay. I want you to my question to you, Linda, not yet, yeah, but my question to you, I want you to, because once you agree, yeah, once you agree with me, you have to buy from me.
Okay.
Okay, so I want you to do your very best not to say yes.
Okay.
Okay. in fact, I want you to focus on saying no, because when you say no, when you disagree with me, you won't buy from me and you save your money, and then okay. So
Okay.
I want you to do your best to disagree with me.
All right.
Okay, but of course, go with the flow. Don't purposely go the opposite. Does that make sense?
All right. Yes.
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay. Let me think. Let me think about this for one quick second. Linda,
Yes.
If I were to offer you a 3-day romantic getaway with
Mm-hmm.
CP,
Mm-hmm.
where you would be part of nature, maybe you would have the beach resort, and then um, and then we would pamper you in your honeymoon suite, and it was
Mm.
only $1,000 a night. You wouldn't be upset with me, would you?
No, but you know
Hold on, hold on, hold on.
what?
Do you see what you did?
In a way, I say yes.
Correct. Of
Yeah.
course, I messed it up a little with the $1,000. I messed it up a little.
But
I should
I
have
just
gone lower.
wanted to be nice. But
Ah, but let me tell you this. What I did was I loaded the question so that you're saying no, which you're predisposed to say. All of us are predisposed to say no.
uh-huh.
Okay. But I phrased it in such a way that your no actually means yes.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
Okay. So that was the demonstration. And it was so easy to get of course you said the but it was very easy to get the no.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because we're predisposed to say no.
Right.
You can close a deal on them saying no every step of the way. Okay. And that might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but if you sense that they want to say no, if you can sense that, yeah, let them say no. Let them
Mm-hmm.
get it out of their system. Okay. And how you do that is you phrase the question in a negative so that they can say no. All right. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is what we're going to do. Let me check the training slides first if we want to cover one more thing. This is how you lock it in. Okay. um, I'm going to show you this, and I'm going to show you how to get it as a yes or as a no. Now remember, we talked about the benefits, right? We talked about the benefits earlier. What you're going to do when we go into the persuasion exercise in 5 or 10 minutes, what you're going to do is you're going to list out at least 2 benefits of your product and service. 2 benefits. Okay, we'll write this down. 2 benefits of your product and service. And the reason we want to do that is because of what I'm going to share with you next. Okay, this is the benefit statement. All right, so this is how it goes. Okay, so to get it in the positive, if you were to get benefit 1, benefit 2, and benefit 3, not features, yeah. If you were to get benefit 1, benefit 2, and benefit 3, you'd be interested, wouldn't you? Okay. Or in the negative, if you were to get benefit 1, benefit 2, and benefit 3, you wouldn't be upset at all about that, right? Okay. So that's how you use the benefit statements, and that's why we're going to create in the exercise. We're going to create at least 2 benefits for your product and service. Okay. So actually, let's get into the breakout rooms. Okay, let's see, 17. Ladies and gentlemen, if your video is off, it's perfectly fine with me. What I would suggest when you go into the breakout rooms is that you put your video on so that you can at least see who you're talking with in your group. All right, can we do that? Yes. Everyone that has the video not on now, when we go into the breakout rooms, I would suggest you have it on. It makes it easier for the role play or the discussion. Okay, so we'll take about 5 or 6 minutes to do this exercise. When we come back, I'm going to get benefits from you, and then we're going to fix them right away. Okay. Okay. So let's see. Okay, let's go more into, okay, 3, 4, 4, 4. You know what? Let's have a few more of you in each room. Okay. Uh, okay, all rooms are opening. Please accept and head to the rooms.
Discussion. Also, one lady, she also from Terengganu.
Oh no, I don't know.
Okay.
Some of us used to be having training in Terengganu.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, like me and Rafi last time we are in the same training.
Oh, I see. No wonder
Yeah.
we know each other.
What your business, Cassie?
Oh no lah, I'm in Ringgit Plus. I'm doing digital sales marketing.
Wah, mantap lah, good.
No lah, still learning lah.
Style.
Oh, you mean custom made?
When you bring the bag, then you can your style.
My style.
How's the style?
Ada style dia lah, style trendy lah. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I
too
think you
benefit.
have two.
Okay.
I think you have more than two there. Okay, who wants to go next?
Discount for 30%.
Mm-hmm.
30% for your energy, full energy.
Right.
Okay, for your full energy, for your aromatherapy.
Mm-hmm.
So can you try it?
Where's my benefit?
Benefit, I warranted warranted, is it? Warranted.
Yeah, what? What?
Warranted. 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 When you drink, you feel very nice. You feel
nice.
very nice. You should try.
I should try. Okay, well, yeah, I'll try it. I'll try it. But if I don't feel nice, I'm not gonna buy it again.
Jamaya, not enough benefit. Not enough.
Not enough.
Not enough.
Not enough.
Making somebody feel nice. It's okay, but you know what is nice? More energetic, more energy, or more calm, or awake, or lose weight, or comfortable. You know, you must have more benefit. So we need to work on that one. All right. Okay. So I will see you all back in the main room. Let me take take this, and then I'll see you all back in the main room in a while.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Hey, Mohammed, Jamal, long time no see.
Okay, are we back? All right, so
Okay.
let's do this. Okay, who wants to share one or two of their benefits first? Who would like to go first? Don't all volunteer at the same time. Relax.
No, Jama. I volunteer Jama and Mohammed.
Mohammed, read one.
Yes, yes, me, sir.
Yes. Okay, so Jamaya, I think Jamaya will work at yours first. Okay, we'll work on yours first. Later. All right. Read one. Do you want to go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
I'm doing services, social media posting, design.
Right.
So I will design your post to attract your customer and increase by 60% of your sales.
You're close. I think you're close. It's better than just a feature, but I think you're not hitting hard enough on the benefit.
Chris, he was long most of the time. He had to use the restroom.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Here's a trick. Here's a trick. All right. It's what I call the so what. Some of you remember this, right? So what?
Okay, yes.
Okay. So let's say, oh, these earbuds come in black. What do we say to that? So what? All right. If we can say so what to a statement that you just made, then it's a feature. All right. These earbuds come in black. That way, not so dirty. Opposite of white. Not so dirty. So you will spend less time cleaning them, saving you time and effort. Can you say so what to that?
No.
Probably not, right? Okay. So a little trick is when you talk about your benefit, if you can say, or if somebody can say so what, okay, then it's not 100% there yet. Okay. So who wants to go next? How about in let's see, who was the other room? Yati, who was in your room?
Linda,
Linda
Eh?
and there was
Z, Ziwi, and
Zewi, okay,
Ziwi Tong.
okay. So Sewi, or Yati or Linda, who wants to go first?
Can I go first, Linda?
Yes, Yati.
Okay. The benefit of my services are I want women in East Coast of Asia to look confident with themselves
Okay.
and to grab the opportunity to get promotions in their career.
The first one I disagree is a benefit. The second one, if we're getting closer. Okay, some more.
I want women to feel wherever they are, they have to look good for themselves, of course, and for their spouse.
Okay, I think the disconnect is that, let me see. I think the disconnect is that you're not talking to a person. It sounds like it's like a bio or a brochure. Does that make sense? There's no connection. So what you want to how you want to change it a little bit, Yati, is that you turn it into a feature and then you push in the benefit. So the feature would be one of my missions and goals is to get ladies in Terengganu and Kelantan to look as what was the phrase that you used? To look good and professional.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the feature. Okay, then the benefit is so that you can feel more confident and more. You got to think of more benefits to attach to that. Does that make sense? But you're on the right track.
Yes.
You're on the right track. Okay. Sewi or Linda first?
Okay, I'll go.
Okay.
Okay, this is something new that it's a new service that I would like to offer.
Okay.
It's about eyewear
Alright.
eyewear fashion in the
Okay.
English industry. So my benefits would be for them to choose the right eyewear, for them to look confident and outstanding, for them to attract better business opportunities in their work, or in their business.
Yep.
All right, and the other one is for them to build their confidence as well. Having the right eyewear can give them confidence, can boost their confidence for them to, when they approach or speak to someone, they have that kind of a charisma with the right eyewear.
Okay, everybody accept? Thumbs up if you accept.
All right, cool.
Okay, awesome. Sewi?
Yeah, so I'm actually from Ringgit Plus,
Yep.
the digital services team. So
Right.
Ringgit Plus, actually a lot of people know us as a marketplace for financial products.
Right.
So we collected a lot of database throughout this year when
Right.
people apply for credit cards, apply loans, and apply for insurance, etc.
Right.
So what we have is our database. So actually, we can help people to target very specifically on what they want to target. For example, normally social media, right? People can only target by interest and by languages, but we can actually target by income level, job titles, and all that. So it's you can based on the financial data that we have lah. So that's our benefit. And
no, hold on. That's not a benefit. You just listed out all the features.
yeah, our features. So the
Right.
benefit is we can actually help clients to minimize their advertisement wastage by
Okay. And one more. Do you have one more?
one more benefit, is it?
Right.
Yeah. So for us, right, because we have all these database, besides you can minimize your ad wastage. You also can collect like for example, you want to target by income level, by job titles and all that, so that you can also collect your own pool of database as well.
On the right track. We
Yes,
need to
yes.
push home a little bit more to be able to get it to a full benefit. But okay, acceptable. Who's next? Ian, who was in your group? Yeah.
Rafi and Rafi and
Zoe.
Zoe.
I think our group we still have Real Me,
Realme?
the handbag.
It's me.
Oh, Wati. Okay,
Wati.
sorry. Okay, Wati. Go ahead, Wati. Ian, we wait a minute for Wati, yeah? Okay, go ahead, Wati.
The benefit, customer will get
Hold on.
they can bring more things in the bag.
Okay. Bring more things in the bag. I would say that's still a feature. Okay. You need to drive it home. You can bring more things in your bag.
Especially on Saturday and Sunday.
Shopping,
you can bring.
Okay. Yeah, but it's still feature. So you can put more things in your bag. Okay. So it's a large size bag, right? Correct. Okay. So how I would drive it home is it's a large size bag. You can fit more things into your bag, and you'll never have the inconvenience of not being able to fit something in or forgetting something that you have wanted to bring. It's how we say it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we go to Jan's group. Jan, who was in your group? Yeah.
Rafi and Casey.
Rafi and Casey.
Yeah.
Cassie. Okay.
Okay, I try.
Yes, go ahead, Rafi.
Okay, can I give the my product for this weekend, the program of this weekend,
Of course.
the kayaking program.
Okay.
Okay, I organized the kayaking program at my recreation park in my village.
Right.
Okay, the benefit is when you join the kayaking program, it's good for physical health, it's good for mental health, it's good for bonding and socializing, make your enjoyable and make your satisfaction.
All those are features. Okay, so you got to think of this. Okay, good for mental health, so that you can de-stress.
Specific.
Yeah, de-stress from your work. You spend the time at the park.
Reduce stress.
Reduce stress so that when you go back to work, you're refreshed and ready to go. Then that's a benefit.
All right.
Okay. What was the other one? You said mental health.
Physical health.
Physical health, but so what? Right?
Body tone, lost weight.
But almost there. So what? You can live longer. You can live healthier.
Yeah.
Right? So
okay.
we must, kalau boleh cakap so what ya, it's not cukup, you know. So we must say more until we cannot say so what. Okay?
Right.
Okay. Jan, go ahead.
The benefit.
Are you scared, Jan?
The benefit that we can get from the activity that I'm conducting is that we'll provide education for the children, so in a way that they can look after the nature for the future generation. Number two.
Okay, I accept. Yeah.
Okay, number two. If family group, then we can keep the family bonding together by having the activity together, family. So it will make the family more close.
I was waiting for that last part. You got it. You got it. Okay, Cassie.
I think the product benefits that I want to share is very similar with Ziwi, because we are in the same team from Ringgit
That's
Plus.
okay.
But there is one thing I would like to highlight is the benefits of using Ringgit Plus is because of our database. We are the only market player in the market where we have this first party database based on income statement, financial data. So I think this is one of the strongest benefits that when we do presentation to the clients.
But what you just said is a feature. It's not a benefit.
Yeah, so benefits is same thing by using this filter by income and financial data, right?
Right.
So we can help them to reach a quality audience.
You're hitting it now. Okay. Help them to reach a quality defined audience according to their specifications.
Yep.
Right. Now that's a benefit. Okay. Okay. So does anybody else want to share? I know that we didn't get to all, but we're on the right track. Yes. Yes or no? Yep. Jamaya, do me a favor. In the next 1 or 2 days, you send me what you think are your features and benefits. I'll help fix that for you. I'll send it back to you. Send it to me by WhatsApp. All right? Okay. So let's get on with handling objections. Hey, let me ask all of you this question. Who loves getting objections? Anybody love?
I don't.
Okay. Ridwan, you like objections. You love objections. Ridwan, you love objections. Yes?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Can you
Because
share?
when they object, I can tell them more.
Right. So if you love objections, can you share what medicine you take so that I can take some too?
No.
Okay, so let's get into objections, okay? I'm going to breeze through the theory part, all right? And we're going to go right into how to handle objections. Because we all get objections, yes or no? Right? Besides Ridwan, we don't like objections because why don't we like objections? Because it's basically somebody telling us no, and we don't like to be told no, right? So let's get into it. Like I said, I'll go over the theory part, quite quickly for us. Okay, so handling objections is anything that a prospect says or does that is an obstacle to smooth closing. So when they say no or they ask a question, they're putting something up that exists between the current situation and what they need to do to engage your services. In other words, um, it's a clear signal that you have more work to do in the selling process. So uh, it's also any form of communication that means no or the opposite of yes, either when asking for the appointment or the sale. So that's the objection. That's the definition of an objection. So, I asked the first question was, how many of you love to get objections? So it's really good or bad to get objections. And it's not good and it's not bad to get objections. Um, but truthfully, it's a little bit more good to get the right objections and it's bad to get the wrong objection. It's also bad to get an objection that you don't know how to answer. Okay? It's also bad when you get an objection and you answer it and it doesn't answer them, and then now you don't know what to say, right? Uh, I'm going to skip through this detailed definition because you'll have it in your slides. Okay? Now, we're afraid of objections because we don't know how to answer them or counter them professionally, confidently, and efficiently. And I think I said effectively. All right? So, and it might not be that we're afraid of objections. It might be that we're a little bit nervous to get objections because, let's say we're doing a presentation or we're asking a question and then they go, my cousin does this, or, don't have the budget. Then it puts you off track. All right? Before we get into objections, we need to know the difference between an objection and a condition. Now, an objection is something that can be handled or can be answered or you can overcome. A condition is a scenario or circumstance that cannot be overcome. Let's say we're selling training and we want to train a company, and the boss tells us that it's only him and the secretary, so we cannot train. So that's a condition. No matter how we overcome that, we cannot train the company if there's only two people in it. All right, Jemaya, if let's say you're trying to sell the coffee to someone and they say, I hate coffee, I hate tea, I don't drink any of that, I only drink water and juice. Is that an objection or a condition? Some people would say it might be an objection, but it's more towards a condition. Okay? So we need to understand a condition you can overcome. I'm sorry, an objection you can overcome, a condition you cannot overcome, or it's almost impossible to overcome. Why do we need to know how to handle objections? Anybody? Anybody want to try and give me an answer? Why do we need to know? Okay, I'm going to give you the answer. Is that okay? Yes? Just give me a thumbs up if it's yes. Okay. You need to know how to handle objections because buyers are objection giving professionals. Buyers are objection giving professionals. It's like they're expert in giving objections, right? Correct? Am I right? Right? So if they're experts in giving us objections, what do we need to become? If the buyers are professionals in objection giving, we must become professionals in objection handling. Okay? The reason for that, the reason why we have to master, okay, the reason why we have to master handling objections is because almost all buyers start with no. Almost all buyers will start with, I don't have the time, I don't have the budget, I need to think about it, it's not my department, la da 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 da, you know, everything that you hear. Almost all of them will start with no. Okay? And it's because that's what we deal with the most often. And you know, we don't want to you know, every time we hear an objection, we don't want to go back and study and you know, wait for the next one. All right, because uh, when you master handling objection, okay, handling objections, right, the techniques of objection handling, okay, will earn you a very good living. Because in almost all sales, you're asking someone to make a change. Habit, familiarity, comfort is working against you. And Ridwan, you're right. You know, when you said that it's an opportunity. All right, objections need to be seen as opportunity. All right, because most often in the initial phase, in the initial phases, it's a smoke screen brush off. They question who you are. They think they don't need it. This will happen in the initial phase. In the later phases, when they give objections, they're like trying to clarify, can they use it? Is it going to help them? So the intention of an objection changes. Okay, and a smoke screen and a brush off, they don't see the need. They don't see the need because they don't realize it yet. And when you become an objection handling professional, you're gonna see through this, because your competition. You see, when someone says to you, "I don't have the time," what do you say? "Oh, okay," and then you walk away. Somebody says, "It's too much money." What do you say? You either say, "Okay," or you go, "I'll give you a discount," and then you know, the buyers have learned. The buyers have learned that when they give you a brush off or the first objection, most salespeople will raise their hands, give up, and they go away. Because you've done that. You've done that to people that were trying to sell you things, and without thinking, I'm just looking, don't need it, not interested, don't have the time, don't have the budget. You said those things. Okay? People raise objections because they don't have the money or the budget. They're afraid to make a decision, or they're afraid to make a mistake. All right. I won't go through that list. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you I'm going to share with you the sequence of handling an objection, and then I'm going to give you some examples of my favorite. Okay. So the sequence is, you either ignore or you acknowledge the objection that you hear. You either ignore or you acknowledge it. All right. Ignoring it, I tend not to do it. Just by ignoring it, I'll when I get an objection, if it's a stupid objection, I'll just look at them and go, and this is what I will do. I'll go, huh? What do you mean? It's like I give like a, you don't ever say this, but your face must make them go. Your face must transfer this message to them. It's like whatever the objection is, like, huh? What do you mean? It's like you stupid for saying that. Don't say it. Make your face say it, because what will happen? What will happen is that they will now go, yeah, you know what? It was stupid of me to say that. I'm not going to say that again, because you know when they're trying to give you the smooth screen. All right. Now, If it's a real objection, you acknowledge it and you clarify, you acknowledge it. Hey, thanks for asking that. Okay, thanks for asking that. Because we don't need to be afraid of objections because we know how to handle that. So, hey, thanks for asking that. So you acknowledge it. You clarify it by saying, let's say somebody says, you know what, I think the pricing is not really within our range of budget. When they say that, it sounds better than we don't have the budget. The we don't have the budget is something that is said way early on, and it's probably not, something they say all the time. When we say it this way, you know what, after looking at the number, and possibly the numbers are not in line. Okay, hey, thanks for letting me know that. So what you're saying is that you possibly cannot allocate or you possibly think that you cannot allocate the budget towards this. So you clarify it, right? And you restate it. You restate it by saying it in a different way. So what you're saying is that according to the numbers, maybe this project we need to relook the numbers and reallocate. Is that right? So you restate it, right? Then the next one that you want to do is you want to isolate the objection. When you isolate the objection, what you're doing is you're putting a box around it, okay, and you're isolating that. So the question that you ask is, other than the budget that we need to rework, is there anything else that we need to look at? And you want to hear a yes or you want to hear a no. You want to hear a yes or no, okay? If the answer is no, then you know that the only thing that you need to look at is how you're going to work the budget. Now, if they say yes, we also have a time frame issue. Whatever the other issue is, now it comes out. So now you have the budget allocation issue or the timing issue. So then you now have the chance to address it. Does it make sense that you want to know about all these other objections rather than answering and answering and answering and answering, and then it never ends? So other than the budget allocation that we need to look at, is there any other reason that or any other question that we need, or any other reason that we cannot move forward on this? Okay, so you've isolated the objection, then you answer the objection, and I'll share with you how you answer it, the different methods of answering the objection. When you answer it, you now confirm the acceptance. Does that make sense to you? Did that answer your question? What do you think about this? Then you go to the trial close. The trial close could be as simple as, shall we move forward? Can we deliver this? Is there anything else we need to discuss before we sign the agreement? See, the trial close allows you to test the waters. All right. Now, if they're not ready, they'll tell you they're not ready. If they're ready, they're going to say yes. Right. So the methods of handling the objection. Let's do this. I'll mention a couple. Okay, you want to solve the problem. Okay, let's say the budget allocation. The budget allocation, you can solve the problem of what if we move this away? We're in the first quarter now. We're at the end of the first quarter. What if we build you in the second quarter? You're solving the problem. All right, turning the objection into a benefit would be, we're kind of exclusive with our database, and so that's why it's more expensive. Then later when they say, hey, it's expensive, well, yeah, I told you it's exclusive, because we got all the data, right? We got all the data, we got all the investment, whatever it was, right? Ask a question. Ask a question is, can you explain that? Okay. Ignoring it or deferring it. I tend not to ignore it on its own. Like I said, I'll go, huh? What do you mean? Right? You defer it. You try not to defer it, because when you defer it, it kind of tells the other person that you're talking to that you don't want to answer it now. I mean, you've heard this, right? People like to ask, how much is it? How much is it? How much is it? Right? And then what do average salespeople answer? They say, I'll let you know later. I'm going to cover it. I'm going to let you know later. And then for me, it's like, no, I want to know now. I want to know now. You tell me what it is, and then you can justify why it's that price. Okay? Because they don't have the confidence that, once you tell the price, people will say, okay, it's too much money. I don't want it. This is what I'll say. I'll tell you what it is. I'll give you a range of it. but give me the chance to explain why it's in that range and why you're going to get value out of it. That's how I would respond to it. Okay, you can tell the story, you can chuckle, you can laugh at them. Don't laugh at them. I've only done that a few times in my career. It's like can't afford it. Okay, and I'm talking to a multi-millionaire, right? He said can't afford it. I said, hey, come on, you're joking, right? Don't tell me that you can't afford it. All right. You can give a guarantee, whether it's a personal guarantee or a company or a business guarantee. You can restate the facts and the figures. All right. I'm gonna teach you or share with you how you can improve your objection handling skills. Some of it is a lot of work. I do have what I call the Sales Edge Toolkit that does almost all of the work for you. All you have to do is customize it a little bit for yourself. But I'll tell you about it in a little bit. All right. Excuse me. So let's go into how to improve in handling objections. The first is every single objection that you get, every single objection that your coworkers get, every single objection that your industry gets, you write them out. You write out all the objections that you get. Okay? My auntie is an agent. We're happy with what we have. Too much money, too expensive, no budget, lost the money, don't have it right now. Check with my wife, check with my boss, check with my husband, check with my neighbor. Need to pray about it. Not the right time, economy's not doing well. All these objections that you get, write them out. When you've written out all the objections, what you need to do is you need to list out the responses. Okay, you list out all the responses, and I'll show you how you can start your library of objection handling. Okay, you list out all the responses that you get, and then you practice it when? When do you practice? You practice it every day. All right. And if in your business, if you have an automatic built-in objection, you bring it up first. Okay. Let's say you always get too expensive. You can bring it up first, like, hey, you know what? All of our clients, almost all of our clients, when they first heard the price, they all almost had a heart attack because they thought it's so expensive. But let me explain why they decided to go with us. Okay. This is how you start to build your objection handling skills. Let's say manual, notebook, whatever you want to call it. Okay. You practice proven techniques. You must practice because you must deliver the response without hesitation. When you deliver your response without hesitation, that shows that you're confident in yourself, in your product and service. But the only way that you can deliver the response without hesitation is to practice, and to practice every single day. And you have to do the work. If you think, and I've had people over the last 20 years think that they can just wing it, they don't need to practice, and I can tell you, you will never ever rise your level of success higher than what you have now. Okay? Because it takes work. It takes work and it takes effort. You cannot just expect to sit there and close deals based on your talent, or based on winging it, or not putting in the effort or the discipline or the regimentation. You cannot. All right? Unless you're telling me that your talent is so high that you're a multi-millionaire based on your talent right now. Can anybody tell me that? If no, then you must fucking do the work. Okay? You must put in the work to be able to rise above your current level of success and achievement. All right? So you got to go through these things. All right? One of the best ways to do it is to study persuasive people. Study how your co-workers handle objections. how I handle objections. All right, you need to understand confidence is extremely persuasive. How do you get confidence? How do you get confidence? You get confidence when you practice. All right, and you got to practice every day, because the reality of the situation is this. Okay, the reality of the situation is this: you can expertly handle objections because technique matters. Objections are what we get the most, so you need to get comfortable with hearing objections. If they trust you, if they can afford your solution, if it's what they need, if it will solve a significant problem now, then they should buy it. And it's your job to make sure, once all these conditions are fulfilled, it's your job to make sure they buy it. Okay, you can develop your own style. You can figure out what works for you. When you practice handling objections, make them your own. All right. I'm gonna go through. Okay, I'm gonna share this with you. It's a couple bonus ideas. We already talked about number three, bonus idea number three. I already mentioned bonus idea number one. If you have an automatic built-in objection, bring it up first. But bonus idea number two is, the old style is called the feel, felt, found. Some of you are familiar with that. I updated it to the empathy, understanding, and revelation. And so how it goes is, I do hear what you're saying. That's so understandable. That exact thing had crossed my mind, or my clients had said that exact same thing as well, until I was informed about the money back guarantee or the scientific process, whatever it is that you have to say. Okay, so let's go into some objections. I'm not interested. You'll get, I'm not interested. Yeah, we get, right? Oh, why not? I mean, what I'm telling you right now is the actual way that I respond to the objection. Oh, I'm not interested. Oh, why not? It's like the stupid face, right? Oh, why not? It's like, why are you telling me something stupid? And then they reevaluate what they said and go, oh yeah, maybe what I said is stupid. All right. If you were interested, why do you think you would be? Or what would cause some interest for you? Okay. Now, you have to understand that when you say these things, right, the other person has to participate. If they're a dick, all right, there's nothing you can say or do to make them participate with you. And what do you do with the dicks that blow you off? Don't keep talking to them. Find somebody new. You see, the problem is that we tolerate crap. We tolerate crap from prospects because they're in front of us and they're talking to us. Don't need to tolerate crap, because if you get good at prospecting, you're going to have enough people to talk to. All of us here on this session right now, there's somebody in our client list that we hate, right? It's like that person calls, it's like, damn, why is he calling again, right? If you had money and if you had a certain level of success, ask yourself this question: would I still deal with this dick? Okay? Ask yourself that question. This idiot is calling me again. If I was more successful, would I still deal with them? If the answer is no, get more successful. Okay? The next one, price is too high. Oh, why do you say that? How much high is too high? Are you saying the price is too high, or is the value not high enough? Okay. Then the next one, let me think about it. We get this a lot, don't we? Let me think about it, right? It's like, dude, what's to think about? It's a no-brainer. Okay. This is what I will say. Of course, I want you to think about it. I mean, who wouldn't need to think about it, right? What we found is that our best clients thought very, very hard about the decision. In fact, the longer that you think, the longer that they thought about it, the more sense this makes. When do you want me to come back? Okay, when you say things like that, yeah, it makes you different, different from your competition, because we normally answer two ways. The average salespeople answer two ways, right? I want to think about it, and then they go, okay. I want to think about it, okay, Think about it, right? Or they go, what do you want to think about? What do you want to think about, right? It's like they want to be combative. You don't need to be combative. It's like you if you have enough prospects and clients, you don't need to close immediately. I know that sounds weird, right? But everything has a natural flow to it. And if you have enough prospects and leads and clients, yeah, you don't need to push anyone so hard that they feel uncomfortable. Okay, let me do this. Okay, let's talk about closing skills. I had mentioned before I share the slide, I had mentioned earlier that closing is actually the easiest part, right? If you do your work all from the beginning and if you put everything in right up to the end, closing is the easiest. That's why we keep it to the end. Because we're all tired at this point, isn't it? It's like we got a lot of information, isn't it? That's why we record. Even our live events, we record. And our live events, when we record, we give you the recording, okay? Because you need to retain. You need to know the information. You paid for it, right? Okay. So let's talk about closing. Let's get into this one. I'm going to teach you why people buy from you, or people will buy from you when certain conditions are met. Okay? People will buy from you when certain conditions are met. You can meet one or two or three or four of these conditions. Okay? You need to meet at least 1 to 2 conditions before they will.
I didn't hear your voice.
Oh, hold on. Who cannot hear my voice? Can you all hear me? I'm sorry. Okay, Kay, can you hear me or cannot hear me? Okay, 1 second. Okay, let's try this. Test, test. How about now? Can you hear me now? All okay? That's why we always have backup, yeah? And then let me know. You have to let me know, all right? Because I can hear you here. I don't know why. Somebody say something?
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. I can hear you too as well.
I'm not sure about Kay.
Kay seems like he still can't hear you, Chris.
Yeah.
Oh, then it's not me then, right?
Yeah, it should be his handphone.
Okay. Hold on, let me do this. Yeah, because I could hear myself. But everybody else can hear me, even earlier,
Yes, yes.
right? Okay. Anyway, you can hear me now, right? Okay. Kay, don't worry. We are recording this. Okay. Let's see, where was I? You see, my old age, when you interrupt me, it's okay. Okay. You need to have let's see. You need to meet at least 1 to 2 of each of these conditions. Okay, and then people will buy from you. We're not talking about fast moving consumer goods. We're not talking about buying soap or laundry detergent or butter or milk. All right? We're talking about the things that we need to sell. Like and trust will go a long way. All right? When value exceeds price, when they see the benefit, when they can see themselves using it, they need to be able to see themselves. They need to be able to see themselves using it. Let me ask you a question. If I could show you a way, wait, let me do this. If I could show you a way, all right, because we all want to be able to read our customers' minds, correct? Do we want that? Yes or no? Yes? Okay. And whatever we are selling, they probably whatever we're selling, they probably bought something similar to whatever we're selling in the past. Correct? Yes, thumbs up. Okay. So if they bought something similar to our product in the past, would it not be beneficial to us to find out how they made the decision to buy that particular product or service in the past so that we can bring it into the present so that we can sell them our product and service? Does that make sense? Okay, this is how we do it. I call it buyer fingerprints. Okay, let me share the training slides again. Okay, we call it buyer fingerprints, and this is how you do it. All right. Buyer fingerprints is past decisions and criteria that you want to find out. Were they feature buyers, benefit buyers, budget buyers? Were they using emotion, or what were their expectations? So you want to find out all these things, right? And this is how you do it. Okay, you fill in the blank with whatever your product or service is or something similar. When you decided to buy this car, this car that you're driving now, when you decided to buy this car in the past, how did you decide it was the right one? Oh, I decided it's the right one because of the color, the speed, whatever it is. What are some of the factors that influence you to say yes? And then they'll say, oh, I really liked it because of this, this, and this. Now, what that does is, you should first of all you should listen to whatever they're saying. And what that does is it allows you insight into the thought process, right? Into the thought process of how they make a buying decision. Okay. Let's see. Let's go into this one. Okay. Let's go here. Hold on. Okay. Okay. When you do your presentation, when you have your conversation, you must put effort. You must think that you are there to serve them. Okay? You must be there for their benefit. And you must present yourself professionally, effectively. You must lead them down a path to be able to make a purchasing decision if the product is right for them, if the price is right, if they get benefit. All right? Because if you give a $5 presentation, don't expect a $5,000 order. The things that I listed out there, things to increase your closing ratio, ask for the sale early, ask for it often, ask for, here's the nice one, ask more qualified prospects. Okay, if you can get more prospects, we used the example earlier, 20 prospects, 250, right? 250 is the statistically what every salesperson gets, in 1 year. 250, 20 prospects a month. All right. You need to increase that number. You need to write out your closes and you need to practice your closes. Do you see a pattern here? The pattern is you need to write out, you need to practice, you need to rehearse, and then you need to implement. Is it a lot of work? Damn, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Okay? But is the reward worth it? I'm telling you it is. Because once you know it, once you have it for the rest of your life. Okay? You must earn the right to close. If you don't do your job right, that's why we say, oh, closing is really hard. It's like so much to do. And then you must dare to ask for the sale. If you earn the right to close, if you've earned the right to close, you can ask for the sale at any time. You can ask for it often and you can ask for it early. And you have to remember, you run your business or you work in a company, it's your job. It's your job to close the sale. You cannot say,
Oh, I'm scared to do it. It's your freaking job to close the deal. If it's your job to close the deal, then put in the effort right up to the point that you say, do you want to buy? Don't say, do you want to buy? There's nicer ways of saying that, right? Okay. The procedure for closing is so simple. It's so simple. Okay. You ask for the sale, you negotiate the price, you answer a question, you answer the objection, you provide the guarantee, and then you ask for the sale again. Now, let's do this. We'll take 1 quick minute to do this. Okay? How do you ask for the sale? I'm going to tell you how I close the deal. Okay? So just raise your hand or unmute yourself if you want to share with us how you close a deal. Or do you even know? Just raise your hand, unmute yourself.
Just us.
What do you say? What do you say, Yan? What's your
Um,
closing question?
um, so when are we going to do this?
Very nice. How long have you been using that? Because it sounds a bit familiar. But you know what? Thank you. What did you say before that? So how? So how? I can tell you in Asia, specifically some countries in Asia, we won't mention which one, but one of them starts with the letter M and ends in Asia. Okay, the closing question is, so how? So how? So how? So how? That's a closing question. It's like, my God. Hey, I've seen it in boardrooms and okay, whatever. It's like, so how? I'm gonna share with you. I'm gonna share with you closing statements that are much more elegant and way more effective. Can we do that? Yes or no? Okay.
So Chris, so how?
Yeah. So how? Right. I will share with you my closing statements are so simple and easy. And the reason they're so simple and easy because I do all the freaking work in the beginning and in the middle and up to this point. Because closing is for them, not for us. All right? You've ever felt this, you've ever felt where you're talking to someone and you know it's going to close. You can tell that they're going to close. All you got to do is say, so how? Right? And they do it. But that's the only time you can go, so how? Right? It's like something magical happens where you know that they're going to say yes. All you have to do is ask them, do you want to buy? Now, let's flip it a little bit, all right? You've ever experienced this where you want to buy something, you want to buy it, and the idiot keeps selling to you, and he keeps selling, and then you go, fucking just ask me to buy now, right? And it's like, hey, dude, just ask me to buy. I'm ready to buy. And he keeps talking and talking and talking. When that happens, I will do one of two things. I'll slap him and I'll give the money, or I'll slap him and I walk away. No, I won't slap. Yeah, don't slap. All right. I've had to tell salespeople. I've had to tell salespeople, dude, you need to shut up now and take my money, or I'm walking away. This is what happens when you have somebody that wants to buy something but you don't know when they're going to buy. This is why you got to do all the work up front so that when it comes time to say, don't say this, yeah. So when it comes time to say, so how? They say yes. But don't say so how. I'm going to give you something better. Is that okay? Yes? Yes? Okay. Let's get to that. I call it my 8 magic words close, and I just, you know what? I just had to think of names for it. I, the names aren't even that nice. I called it the 8 magic words close and the 7 gun version, but it makes no sense. It just works. It just works. Okay. This is my close. It's so simple. Are you ready to get started working together? And Jan, I copy from Jan, right? When would you like me to start? That's it.
Yeah. Same word, same structure, but different context.
Right, right. So it's as simple as this. Okay? It's so simple to just say these things if you've done the work up front. Now, I also wrote a book called The World's Greatest Closes. I also wrote another book, How to Handle Every Single Objection. What we did was we collected all the objections, over a number of years, and we collected all kinds of responses, and we tested all of them out. We came up with 31 objections, and we put categories of objections. Everything about the money, like too much money, no budget, that's like one objection. All right. So we came up with 31. In any industry, there's about 7 to 12, but we came up with 31, and we came up with numerous responses to each objection. Just to give you an example, the money objection, the price is too high, don't have the budget. We have 42 responses to that one objection. We talk about closing. I'm only giving you 2 closing statements right now. Okay. In how to the world's greatest closes, 418 ways to close a deal. We actually collected 900, but we cut it down. We tried to cut it down, all right? But we couldn't because they were all effective, for different industries, for different characteristics and personalities. Because we talk about the auditory, visual, and kinesthetic. Okay, there's different kinds of closes for different kinds of people. All right. When you ask your closing question, there's only 4 responses. It's yes or no or maybe, or they ask a question. And you must be able to take the yes and take the no and handle the maybe and handle the question. The maybes, I have to warn you, the maybes kill us. The maybes make us think we have a deal when we don't. Okay? I want to get into the follow up. Now, the follow up, I'm going to breeze through it a little bit. All right, and then I'm going to teach you a follow up technique that you will never have to worry about anyone getting angry that you follow up. And then I'm going to talk about some tools that you can use. All right, we're right on track for between 5:20 and 5:30. All right, so I just need that last push from y'all. Okay, so let's get into the follow up right now. Okay. The first thing about follow up is you will never lose a sale because of professional persistence. You must be professionally persistent, not an irritating ass. Okay? You must be professionally persistent, not irritating. Now, here's some stats from a couple years ago. These stats are from the US because I couldn't find any stats in Asia. On average, it takes 8 to 12 touches to close a deal. As long as 22 days to make a decision. And some decisions take longer, some take shorter. 32 touch points. A touch point is an email or an ad on Facebook or a message, whatever it is. 32 touch points. The unfortunate part, and this is universal, unfortunate part is that 80% of the salespeople never make it past the 3rd or the 4th call. What that means is you're losing deals if you don't follow up. All right. I'm going to share with you a tool that I use. I prefer paper. I prefer writing down my notes on lead sheets. and I'm going to share with you what my lead sheet looks like. Not only will I share with you what my lead sheet looks like, I'm also going to send you a Microsoft Word copy of my lead sheet that you can modify for yourself. I will send it to you together with the YouTube link that we will send out within 24 hours. Now, you can take this Microsoft Word lead sheet and you can throw it away, okay? And it doesn't affect me. Or you can take it and you can use it and you can get increased results. I also use electronic or cloud CRM, all right? And I use a paid version, which I won't mention which one. It's not Salesforce, but I also recommend to clients HubSpot CRM, HubSpot CRM. Okay, I'll include a link for that. It's free. HubSpot CRM is free. If you need a CRM to help you keep track of your leads and your calls, HubSpot CRM is free. Okay, this is the lead sheet that I use. It's on the front and the back of one sheet of paper. And on the front sheet, I have the name, email, whatever, all those things, right? But I have this is 2 pages. 1.5 pages of this is notes, okay, and follow up. All right. Now you got to ask yourself this question: what is my follow up plan? Ask yourself that question. What is my follow up plan? I can tell you that most of you will say, "What's that?" Right? A follow-up plan is like on day 1, do I call? What do I say? Day 2, day 3, what do I do with the prospect? You have to nurture, build a relationship, keep in touch with them. We created a 70 day plan, a 70-day follow-up plan for a client. Okay? I followed up with prospects for damn near 3 years before they bought from me. The longest that I've ever followed up is 4.5 years. But I'm not calling the guy every day. I'm calling and keeping in touch. And 4.5 years, I closed the deal. 100K, 200K, 250K. It's okay, right? But we closed the deal. So was the follow-up worth it? And it's not calling and calling and calling, yeah? It's by email, WhatsApp, and automated system, right? So I'm going to share a 70 day follow-up plan that we created for a client. I will send it to you also in Microsoft Word so that you can tweak it. Okay, you can tweak it for yourself. Now, if you take this, and I'm sending it to you in Microsoft Word so it's easier for you to adjust. You can take this and you can throw it away, and it's not going to hurt me. Okay? But if you take this and you use it and you implement it, I promise you, you will get more deals. Okay? Now, we also need to know what to say. I'm not going to go through each line. I'm going to tell you that these are ways and techniques of following up on things that you will say to them, things that you will send to them, things that you can message to them. And never, never, ever, ever say, I'm calling to check in. I'm calling to touch base. You can say I'm calling to follow up, but you never say I'm calling to touch base or you WhatsApp I'm touch base to check in with you. No, you're not touching base with them. You're not checking in with them. You're trying to close the freaking deal, right? Okay. So your opening statement when you follow up is remind the guy or gal why you're calling. And if you call them and you say, "Hey John, this is Chris," and then they go, "Who?" You know what? You might as well go and bang your head on the wall. Okay? If any prospect, if any of my prospects do that to me, I have failed. All right? I have failed. Because 80, 90% of the time, 80 to 90% of the time, actually higher, this is what I get. Hey, John, this is Chris. And I hear, hey, Chris. Okay. Is it magic? No, because I put in the work to make them look forward to my call. And I'm going to teach you how to do that. I'm going to take 1 minute to 2 minutes to teach you how to do it. And I can promise you this. I can promise you this. If you learn nothing today, if you learn nothing today, and you just learn what I'm about to teach you, I promise you, your fucking money will go up. No lie. You learn nothing today, you just learn this, your money goes up. Okay? So I'm going to teach you what it is. But before I teach you what it is, I have to demonstrate what you all do now. All right? So to do that, I'm going to ask for a volunteer. Let's see. Cassie, are you with us, Cassie? Cassie?
Yes.
Awesome. Can you put your video on so we can all take a look at your wonderful features
No,
and
man.
your comfortable sofa? I'm just kidding. Okay. So you're in sales, correct? I'm in
Yep.
sales, correct? Okay.
Correct.
We all follow up, yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Always.
Okay. I'm gonna do a follow up with you. Just go with the flow. Don't be a dick.
Mm.
Don't be a dick. All right. But we know that they can be, right? All right. But I put in effort, rapport, everything with you already. Just go with the flow. And what I want you to answer, whatever I say, not whatever I say. My first question to you, I want you to answer. I need to think about it. I will let you know.
Okay.
Okay? And then after that, I'm going to ask you certain things, and I'm going to force you to respond in a certain way, even though you don't realize it.
Okay.
Okay? So we'll
All
do
right.
the first one first. This is how normally people follow up. Okay, Cassie. So how? No. Okay, joking. Hey, Cassie. So shall we proceed with the signing of the purchase agreement?
I will think about it. I will let you know next week.
80 to 90% of us will go, okay, I'll wait to hear from you next week. And then you go to your boss, or you lie to yourself. I got a deal next week. Cassie's gonna close the deal next week. Am I telling you the truth?
No.
No. I mean, what I just said, isn't that what we think? And then what happens next week? Because Cassie, you didn't tell me which day next week. You said you want to think about it, then you let me know. And then I go, oh, next week, Monday. Monday, Cassie's gonna call and close the deal, right? Right? That's what we think. And then we go, hey, she didn't call today. Is she gonna close? Well, next week is 5 more days. Maybe she'll call Tuesday. Maybe she'll call Wednesday. And then we sit there and we wait. And then we wonder, I wonder if Cassie's going to call after she thinks about it. Now, let me ask you this question, a little side. How many minutes do you think Cassie will set aside about thinking of me over the whole weekend until Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? This much time. Correct or not? Right? But we all think, no, she's thinking about it. She's thinking about it. She's going to say yes. And then Wednesday comes, and then it's like, oh no, you know what? Still have Thursday, still have Friday. It's okay. I'll wait for her to think about it because she said she'll let me know. And then Friday comes, and then Cassie doesn't call, and then it's like, then you're shy to call because she never called, right? So with one question, we're going to change that. So we're going to do the same thing. You're going to answer the first question the same way, but I want you to go with the flow. Don't be a dick. All right, just play along with me. All right, Cassie?
Okay.
Okay. So, hey, Cassie, everything looks good. You said the budget is right. We can probably proceed. You ready to sign the purchase agreement?
I will think about it. Maybe you can call me back next
That's
week.
not what you said earlier.
Oh, so you want me to say yes, is it?
No. I want
Oh,
you to say,
oh.
I will think about it and I'll let you know.
Oh, okay, okay.
Uh,
I'll think about it and I will
uh,
let you know.
okay. Now, earlier she said you can call me next week, and then we go okay, right? So from that point on, it's the same track. But now she said she will think about it and then she will call me, right?
Mm.
This is what I need y'all to say. You know what? That sounds great. Take the time that you need to think about it, because you know what? I know that you're going to make the right decision. The more you think about it, the more intelligent this decision will be. And I'm exaggerating a little, all right? And then I'll say, no problem. You can call me anytime that you want next week. Just so I know, um, which day do you think you will give me a call after thinking about it? Which day?
Wednesday?
Okay, hey, Wednesday is good. Do you think you'll call me before 11 or 12?
Um, yeah, first half of
Okay,
Wednesday.
awesome. I'll wait for your call, Cassie, by 11 or 12 on Wednesday. No worries at all. But if I don't hear from you by 12, I'll give you a call at 1. Is that okay?
Okay, sure.
What you did with that simple statement is you removed the responsibility of her calling you, and you took the responsibility. That way, if she doesn't call by 11 or 12 on Wednesday, you now have the right to call her at 1.
Mm.
Does that make sense? You eradicate the pushiness, the aggressiveness, the it's like, hey, if I call, is she gonna take my call? You removed all of that just by saying, if I don't hear from you by 12 o'clock on Wednesday, I'll give you a call at 1. And then, is that okay? Then if she says, no, 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 1 o'clock is no good, make it 3 o'clock. All right? In fact, if you want to go better, you never say, I will call you at 1. Because we as salespeople, we like to make appointments with people on the phone, right? I call you at 1, I call you at 1:15, I call you at 1:30, right? So, is there ever a situation where, Cassie, I'll call you at 1 p.m. on Wednesday, and then Cassie's like, oh, it's 12:59. Stop everything. Stop everything. Chris is going to call me at 1 p.m. Do you think they do that? No, they don't. So what you do is you tell them, I will call you, example, yeah, when you follow up, right? I will call you between 1 and 1:15. And you can schedule 3 or 4 people to call between 1 and 1:15. Because if you schedule 1, 1:15, 1:30, 1:45, 2, you made 5 appointments. What happens when the guy doesn't take your call at 1 o'clock? Then you got 15 minutes to waste before the next one at 1:15. Didn't answer again. Waste another 15 minutes. Okay, that's the little side. So what you do is you change your tag instead of just accepting it because you're a professional. If I don't hear from you by 12 o'clock on Wednesday, I will give you a call at 1 p.m. Is that okay? Now, if they don't answer at 1 p.m., this is what I do. Okay, I will WhatsApp or I'll SMS and I'll say, hey, I said I will call you at 1 p.m. I'll try you again before 4. That way, it gives me the permission to call you at 3 o'clock or 3:15 or 3:30 or 3:45 or 4. You never have to wait to talk to somebody or fear that you're trying to follow up too soon. Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? That I'm telling you that one technique, yeah, is going to make you money. It will make you money because you will never lose a deal because you forgot to call, or you're shy to call, or you dare not call. You have deals that you lost in your career. Let's say, oh shit, this guy, his card, I forgot to call 2 weeks ago. Okay? You've also had a situation where you never call them, and then you call after a few weeks, and then you hear the worst news. Not that they died, okay? The worst news is, oh, hi, Chris. I already bought from somebody. It's like, if you experience those things, yeah, damn, it's your fault. It's your fault. Whatever your business is, if you talk to a relative, let's say property agent, insurance, whatever it is, right? You talk to a cousin or an auntie and uncle, and you say, "Hey, auntie, I'm in real estate. You want to buy a house? Let me know." Hey, you didn't tell me earlier. I bought already last week. It's like, damn. Do you know what is sayang or not? Sayang is regret. Right? Don't regret. Do the work. Put in the effort so that you can close. You can close the deal. Okay. I'm gonna send you the slides. The slides will tell you the additional tools that you need. All right. I will also put in the email that I'll send out to you within 24 hours. Promise you, within 24 hours from now, we'll send you the all the YouTube links to the recordings that we did today. All the resources that I mentioned to you, I will send to you. That means I'm going to send you the list of the tools that you need. If I talk about an online calendar, I'm going to suggest that you take a look at one or two online calendars. I'll send you the link for the HubSpot CRM. You need to get landing pages. You need to get lead tracking. I'll send you the link so that you can take a look at those. All right. Um, I will also send you a link for you to take a look at the Sales Edge Toolkit. I talked about the components of the toolkit, the world's greatest closes, and how to handle objections. We sell that for 99 US. Okay, at 99 US, the price is already dropped. Um, Up to 2016, we would sell that for 299 USD, but we would sell it as an actual physical book. It's almost 300 pages, 300 A4 size. It has all the objections and all the responses. It has everything that we talked about today. You don't need to go out and create your closing statements. You don't need to go out and create your handling objections. Everything's done for you. You just need to customize it for yourself. All right. Some of you got scared when I said 299 USD. I kid you not. The book is worth well over 299 USD. We started selling it at a bargain basement discounted price after 2021. Because what I need to do, okay, this this program that you're on, we did it prior to 2020 live for 600 USD. Okay, in a hotel or in a client's place per person. All right. We did it twice last year where we charged, I believe we charged like 199 USD, but we brought it all the way down to 50 USD. All right. Is it because I'm desperate? No, I'm telling you, I'm not. I want to give this to as many people as we can. I know, the cliche. Believe it or not, it's up to you. I don't care. All right, because your opinion does not affect me. Does that make sense? And I hate to say it I don't mean to sound arrogant in any way. All right. But at this age, I don't need a lot of things from a lot of people. All right. So the Sales Edge Toolkit. All right. We did sell it for 299 USD. When 2021 started, lockdown, COVID, all that, we dropped it down to 19.99 USD, but it is in a digital format. All right. I will send you the link to be able to order it. You can use PayPal, you can use credit card, you can message me and say, I just want to bank into you. All right. This is the guarantee that I'll give you. We'll send you the book, right away if you pay by PayPal or credit card. If you bank in, give me like 2 hours to get it to you. You look at the book, and if you say this book is shit, right? You call me up and say, you know what? Give me back the 1999 USD, and I'll say, hey, okay, no problem, no worries at all. 90 days from now, if you use this book and your results don't even go up by one deal in 90 days, call me up or message me and say this book is shit, and I'll give you back the 1999. But I will knock you on the head first, because I will tell you you did not use the book and you didn't use it the right way. But I will give you back your money, but I will knock you on your head. All right? So I'll send out all those links within the next 24 hours. It is now exactly 5:30. Okay? I want to make sure that I address any and all questions before we end our session. And this is how we're going to do it. I will be here for another 10 to 15 minutes. If you wish to leave, you may do so. If you wish to stay and ask questions, you may do so as well. We will continue recording so that you can still catch the questions if you leave. But before we end our session, okay, before we end our session, if everybody can put on their video, if everybody can put on their video, I'd like to take a picture. I've been taking pictures throughout the day. If I can ask everyone to put on your video so I can take a picture, and I will send these pictures to you as well. For the one low bargain basement price of 10 ringgit per picture. I'm just kidding. It's only 5 ringgit per picture. Cassie, Rafi, are you okay to put your video on? Okay. Rafi, you're still outside. If you cannot put your video on, it's okay. Let's see. Let's have everybody look as handsome and as serious as Ridwan on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So I told you all my age, but as here's what I believe: millennials is not an age. Millennials is a mindset. Okay. So if we can do this on the count of 3, all right. On the count of 3, only the young people or the young at heart. Oh, hold on. Let me fix this. Only the young people and the young at heart are allowed to do this. Okay? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. D, I did say young and young at heart. So, okay. But that's fine. That's okay. And let's see. Let's do one more where all of us have a wonderful, beautiful smile as nice as Jamaya and Yati and Yana and Wati. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. You know what? I want to thank everyone for paying attention. I do know it's more challenging to attend a session like this, online. I can tell you that I am beat right now. All right. Most people don't realize that doing an event online is actually more it sounds weird. It's actually more tiring than doing it live, because there's less engagement, interaction. It is tiring, and I know that participating is tiring as well. And that's exactly why we record everything. That's why no problem, D. Go ahead. So that's why we record everything. That's why we give you by D. That's why we give you the printouts. Well, you print it out, but we give you the handouts. So we're trying to make it as easy and as comfortable for everyone. So with that, we will open the Q&A. If you need to leave, just you will not hurt my feelings at all. It's very hard to hurt my feelings. Okay. Most welcome, Linda. Okay, so I'll stay here for another about 10 to 15 minutes. If you have questions, I would, I can answer them for you. Okay, bye, Linda. Bye. I can answer them for you. So I can stay here for another 10 or 15 minutes. But if you need to leave, please do not feel compelled to stay just because. All right. And we are recording the we are recording the questions as well until the very end, and we'll send that out. Okay. So, do we have any questions from anybody? I knew, right,
Chris,
Yati? Yes, go ahead, Kay.
why are you laughing?
Why am I laughing? Why is Yana laughing? Why is Yan laughing? Why is Ridwan laughing? Betul tak, Yana? Memang dia ada question kan? ever since December. Okay, sorry. Okay. Thank you, Wati. You're leaving now? Okay. Have a good evening. Yes, go ahead, Kay.
Okay. Maybe can you share with us more details about the auditory kinesthetic and the apa? One more thing.
Auditory, visual,
Visualize
kinesthetic. Right.
a person.
Okay.
Yes.
So when you say more details, what do you mean? How to identify?
Because
how to talk to them?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, what? Thank you, Yati.
How
we'll
to identify? How to talk to them? How?
Right. Okay. This is what you need to do, because I explained that earlier. How to correct, guys? Yes or no? Unless I'm mistaken, you must let me know. So I'm not trying to insult you, okay? But this is how we need to address it. All right. I believe I explained exactly what auditory, visual, kinesthetic is, and then I believe that I mentioned how to roughly identify, and then I believe I also explained how to interact and talk to them as auditory, visual, or kinesthetic. Did I do that, Jan, Ridwan? Just to get confirmation. Okay. If I did do that, it's on the recording, right? Does that make sense? So you have to listen to that part again. But what I will tell you is, you identify if they're auditory, visual, or kinesthetic based on the words that they use, and the easiest is the words that they use. So auditory will say, "I hear what you're saying." Okay, clear like a bell, right? Blowing the whistle. Make sense so far? Okay. Visual would be, "I like the view. I like the way this looks. I think we need to take a look at it. I think we need to see this." It's more tengok, right? The words they use is more visual. Kinesthetic is like, okay, bye Wati. Kinesthetic is like touch and feel. They want to. I need you to come and see me, to present to me. Cannot by email, cannot by phone, cannot by Zoom. You must come and see me. They want the contact. Does that make sense? Did that kind of answer your question? To get more details on this, here's what you can do. You listen to the recording again. And you can also search on Google all those things that I mentioned, and it will give you, more research for you to do. Okay? Is that okay? Okay.
Okay, Chris.
Okay. Hey, I know I give you a hard time on questions, yeah, but it's because I like you. Okay. Ridwan, awesome. Ridwan, do you have question?
No, Chris. I want to see you.
See me where? See me now. I takut lah. Okay, so if no more questions,
Thank you, Chris.
Hey, thank you. Okay.
I joined the other ada session kan?
Saturday, all can join. Everybody
Okay,
can join.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
It's
join
the same
also,
thing, right?
okay. This Saturday.
Yes.
Okay.
It's
So
the same thing.
same thing, but a little bit different because live event. Live is
Yes.
a little bit different.
Yes.
Let me stop the recording now, and then I have a question. Hold on, yeah.